be an episode of Arkham Insider without us taking your burning questions straight from the community. This week we've taken them from the hashtag #AskArkham, as well as from people who directly contacted Sefton via Twitter at @SeftonHill. First question comes from CJ Matrellis, who asks, is it true that the game has in-game cutscenes, so our costume choices will carry over into cutscenes?
Yeah, so the cinematics in the game are rendered real-time now, so if you're wearing a different skin for Batman, that skin is going to carry into the cinematics. It looks great as well. And we really wanted to make sure that the character you're playing is the character that appears in the cinematics. It's the same person. People you interact with are the same people from the cinematic. So yeah, the skins you wear, the characters you play, no loading screens as you play through the whole game. You can play from the start of the game to the end of the game. You won't see any loading screens. That's all a really big, important thing for us.
Next question comes from Iconic Records. What kind of Easter eggs can we expect in the game?
You can expect a lot of Easter eggs, and more in this game, probably in the last two games put together. But I don't want to ruin anything, I don't want to spoil anything. I think part of the fun is finding those things. There's some really obscure ones, there's some much more obvious ones. There's just a ton to find, and I think players are really going to enjoy it.
Next question comes from Arkham Knight 01. Will New Game Plus be returning with other modes?
Yes, so New Game Plus is back. So when you complete the main story, you're going to unlock New Game Plus. And in New Game Plus, you can go in, take all of your XP through, take your gadgets through that you've unlocked, which is a big thing, because that means basically you can then do some of the challenges from earlier on in the game, but with a whole new suite of gadgets that you never had the first time you went in, all the upgrades. And those things are all shared through both playthroughs. So similarly, any Riddler trophies that you found through the game are shared on both playthroughs. So if you played through, you've collected 100 Riddler trophies, you go in New Game Plus, you can go in and collect 100 more. They're shared between both playthroughs when you play through.
Next question comes from the Arkham channel. How hard was it to think of new gameplay mechanics for this more experienced Batman from Arkham Knight?
For the first game, we basically put all the ideas that we had into that game, and then at the end of the game, you feel a bit drained, and then you go away and have a holiday, and suddenly you're like, wow, like there's a whole new load of stuff we could do. And it was a very similar experience finishing Arkham City, put everything we had into that game. We came back for Arkham Knight, thought, okay, what can we do? Obviously the Batmobile being a huge new feature, lots of new gadgets and abilities for that. We also looked at the existing gadgets, a number of those return, and they have new abilities. Say like the Batclaw now has a new upgrade ability where you can use that to instantly take people down in combat, so you pull them into you and it smashes them down into the ground and takes people down. We have gadgets while gliding for the first time. So there's lots of new features in there that bolster your existing skill set. So all these skills that you've learned from the first couple of games, you'll bring to this game, and then they'll have new things you can do with all of those gadgets that you know and love.
Last question comes from Martino, who asks, Sefton, can you release the game already?
Well, we're so close now. We're just 3 weeks to go, and everyone's going to get to be the Batman.
That's all we've got time for. If we answered one of your questions on today's show, a t-shirt is winging its way to you. And in the meantime, be the Batman.